Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of short-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets. I hope you guys have liked the last couple of videos where we've been doing some more news. I am going to be trying to cover some more news in the cryptocurrency space, but of course, there's not a whole lot going on in the cryptocurrency space that is newsworthy at the moment. So in today's video, we're actually going to be doing a little bit of short-term technical analysis and talking about this little decline in price action that we've seen out of Bitcoin here over the last couple of hours, because what we saw was Bitcoin actually managed to break up above $3,575, an important support/resistance level. We did get up there. We went on this nice little rally and ran all the way up to $3,660, but ever since then, things have been bearish for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been falling to the downside. And it just so happens that this this decrease in price action on Bitcoin has actually been corresponding with a very large jump in the shorts here over on the Bitcoin shorts chart on Bitfinex. So we're going to be talking about all of that in today's video and discussing what this longer term pattern for Bitcoin means, because what we've seen out of Bitcoin here is that Bitcoin's gone into a consolidation pattern, broken bullish, and then fallen over 3 times now. Definitely not a very good thing for Bitcoin, definitely looking kind of bearish, and we're going to be discussing what the potential implications of that might be in today's video. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing the notification bell, guys. I think we have a good one lined up for today. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Of course, we're going to start off by looking at the chart here on Bitcoin, and what we see is that over the last couple of days, Bitcoin found itself here in a consolidation pattern, below a downtrend of resistance and above an uptrend of support. We did see a bullish breakout above that downtrend of support and our flat resistance level at 35.75 just last night. But like I said, we've seen that reduction come. We've seen that fall off come after Bitcoin did that. We see here on the minute chart that Bitcoin ran up here extremely quickly in the span of a couple of minutes. In fact, this well may have been the work of a whale who came in and bought thousands of Bitcoin on exchange and pumped the price to levels that it was not ready to be at yet. It's probably very likely that Bitcoin was never meant to be this high in valuation, or at least at the time being it wasn't. And so the bears came in and pushed us straight back below the level of, at the time, support of $3,575. The fact that we've tried to get above that level and failed so many times, just failed absolutely miserably so many times. We see here, we've tried to get above that multiple times and not been able to get above it, does lead me to believe that it's a very strong level of resistance. And the fact that we tried to get above it right here and we had such a major jump above it, we jumped several percentage points above that level of resistance and we still weren't able to hold it, does lead me to believe that that's a very strong level of resistance and that we're probably going to see some more bearish price action coming over the next couple of weeks. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue looking at the cryptocurrencies, at the cryptocurrency market over here on CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin across all exchanges is currently trading at around $3,600. It hasn't really moved all that much in the last 24 hours, but that's just because this percentage is taking 2 points now and 24 hours ago. Bitcoin is basically traded sideways on the daily chart, but as we can see here, some drama has happened here on the hourly chart. Overall, the cryptocurrency market is slightly more green than it is red. If we sort by change over the last 24 hours here, we're going to see there's probably 65 cryptocurrencies in the green and maybe 45 in the red. That is not how that works. I mean 35 in the red. And we see that Holo, Dentacoin, Theta, and Aurora are all up in the double-digit gaining today. Definitely a good day for the cryptocurrency market in the grand scheme of things, considering how the market has been performing over the last couple of weeks. I like seeing a little bit more green come out of Bitcoin, even though what we're talking about over here on Bitcoin isn't exactly all that bullish. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at this pattern over here on Bitcoin, because this is something that is rather striking. If you guys have watched the channel for a while, you may have heard a phrase of mine, which is that markets tend to work in cycles of 3. They tend to work in cycles of 3. And a lot of times you will see the market try to come up and test a level of resistance 3 times before it stops trying. It'll come up and test it 3 times, or Bitcoin will make some kind of pattern 3 times. This is a perfect example of it, where Bitcoin has broken bullish, traded sideways, and broken bearish. Broken bullish, traded sideways, broken bearish, broken bullish, broken bearish. And that's exactly what's happened. It's happened 3 times now. And a lot of times when something happens in a market 3 times in a row, it's trying to tell you something. So let's see what Bitcoin is trying to tell us right now. Well, what Bitcoin is trying to tell us right now is that the bulls do have exuberance. The bulls are trying to make breakouts. They are trying to stage some kind of rally. But At the same time, every time they do, the bears come in and reject them and absolutely demolish the bulls and send us back down to levels even lower than where we started. A perfect example of that would be right here, where Bitcoin crashed about 2 times as far as it actually ran in the initial rally. So what we've seen recently is that the bulls are in fact trying to break out, and in fact, considering how quickly many of these breakouts have happened, you can see they all happened on the 1 hour. On 1 hour, all these breakouts happen within 1 hour. It's possible that these breakouts are actually the work of a whale, but I'm not going to get into speculation right now. The point here is that the bulls are trying to stage breakouts, and the bears are coming in every single time and pushing us back lower. And that's an important thing to remember, is that when the bears come in, and all 3 times, they have been the ones to garner support and gain control. It seems, based on that, that the bears are the ones that are stronger than the bulls. That's why I talk about that in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I talk about in the video on the strength of the bulls and the bears, I talk about how important it is to understand how strong the bulls and the bears are, because there's a pretty good way to look at a market, and a good way to look at that market is by looking at it as a war between the bulls and the bears. It's a tug of war in between the bulls and the bears, and right now, as we've seen, the bears seem to be the ones in control. So what does this mean for the longer term for Bitcoin? Well, not only have we seen this pattern, excuse my freaking Facebook, we see that not only have we seen this pattern right here, that Bitcoin has been trading sideways and trading gradually to the downside, we also see this longer-term downtrend of resistance right here, and we see that Bitcoin is under a downtrend of resistance. Now, if that were an uptrend of resistance, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but the fact is it's a downtrend of resistance, and it's pushing us into levels of support like 5750, which has now been broken, and $3,500, which is also probably going to be broken over the next couple of days. Over the next couple of weeks, more likely. The point I'm trying to make here is that the bears do look like they're still in control. Now, with that said, if we zoom out and do our longer-term technical analysis, then what we see is that Bitcoin has been kind of gradually losing its bearish momentum. Bitcoin was crashing a lot harder earlier on in the year than it has lately, bar this little movement below $6,000 right here. So gradually, I think the momentum is shifting from the bears back into the bulls. That's why I think a bull market is coming in the next 1.5 years or so. Probably about a year from now, it'll start actually forming. We'll start seeing signs of it, but it is going to take some time. But I think the bears, for the short term anyway, are still in control. Let's go ahead and look at a reason why I'm under that impression. We'll go ahead and look at the shorts and the longs chart. If we look here on the 4-hour chart for the shorts, we see that the market has been crashing the market has been crashing. Shorts have been crashing quite substantially ever since the beginning of December. They've been falling down and down and down and down and down. We lost about half of the shorts down here. About 50% of shorts were erased here ever since the beginning of December, when they peaked out up here around 43,000. And the fact that they've been declining and Bitcoin has not been rising in price action is a very, very, very important sign of the strength of the bulls and the bears and the strength of the market in general. It's very important for you to realize that when the shorts chart doesn't line up with the price action chart, that's probably also a signal that is trying to tell you something. The fact that the shorts have been going down and Bitcoin has not been rallying is an important indicator to the strength of the bears. Let me rephrase that. The reason that this is so important is because that when a short is closed, you guys, if you're familiar with how a short works, then the reason that this is important is that when a short is closed, you have to cover that short position by buying back into Bitcoin. Not only does that mean that when all of these shorts get liquidated or when all these short positions get closed, a lot of buying pressure is being put on the market. That also means that that bearish exuberance coming out of the bears is decreasing, which is obviously, we see that happening because Bitcoin is coming down here and is losing a bunch of its short positions. So with that, you would expect Bitcoin to be rallying because we have all of those extra that extra buy side action coming in, and we also have a decrease in the exuberance of the bears. But the fact that we haven't seen that is very telling, and the fact that we also see now that Bitcoin did not rally when shorts were declining, and that Bitcoin is now not doing very well when Bitcoin shorts are rising is actually very worrying. We see over the last couple of days here, over the last week or so, that Bitcoin shorts have stopped declining and they've started actually rallying. And what that means is that instead of putting buying pressure on the market to drive Bitcoin up, these short positions being opened are putting selling pressure on the market, because when you open a short position, you're borrowing someone else's Bitcoin and selling it and then buying it back to cover it later on. So when all these short positions are being opened, then that does mean that there's more bearish exuberance coming into the market, and that also puts selling pressure on the market, which is not a good thing for Bitcoin. Guys, I say this a lot, but this is a good example of this. I can go on and on and on and on about all of the technicals that are looking bearish for Bitcoin, but right now Bitcoin does not look like it's in a very good position. And I've said this for a while, it wouldn't surprise me if Bitcoin pulled back down to $3,300 or $3,100. And in fact, to be totally honest, I would welcome it. I would love for Bitcoin to come down here to $3,300 or $3,100 because I think that that would finally flush out a lot of that short-term bearish exuberance so that we can finally start trading sideways and continuing on till the end of 2019 and early 2020 when I think we're going to start seeing a lot more bullish price action. Guys, right now in the market for the next 6 months or so, we're really just biding our time, accumulating Bitcoin at these really low prices and building our long-term portfolio. Because if you guys are still here 14 months after the actual top of the 2017 bear market, then you understand why we're in this cryptocurrency market. You understand where Bitcoin is going, and you understand why we're still here every day making videos on a market that many people have deemed is dead. It's because we believe in the cryptocurrency market, we believe in Bitcoin, and we believe in the blockchain revolution, and that's why we're still here, and that's why we're still following this market, and that's why we're still accumulating Bitcoin when we're 80% retraced from all-time high. So guys, look at it as a bonus for right now, because Bitcoin is of course eventually going to bounce. Bitcoin is a great technology, and many of its counterparts in the cryptocurrency market are fantastic technologies as well. The cryptocurrency industry and the blockchain space is going nowhere anytime soon, but with that said, it is a great time to be accumulating Bitcoin because Bitcoin is so low in price action, So tell me in the comment section down below, guys, if you are down here accumulating a bunch of long-term Bitcoin position. I know I'm accumulating Bitcoin for the long term. I would love to get as much Bitcoin as I can possibly get my hands on while it's down here at $3,550. I really don't think we're ever going to see Bitcoin this low again. If you go out 3 or 4 or 5 years, I don't think we're ever going to see Bitcoin in the 4 digits. I think Bitcoin is going to be well and truly above $10,000 for the rest of its future after we start getting up there, after we get past $20,000 I'm talking about. I think that Bitcoin is going to do really, really well, and I think that it's, like I said, its cryptocurrency counterparts over here, its cryptocurrency counterparted comrades are going to do really, really well. Anyway, guys, I am rambling. I am well and truly rambling, but that is okay. Like I said, I'm interested to hear your opinions in the comment section down below on what you think is going to happen on the short term here on Bitcoin. And also, guys, if you do want to learn how to do technical analysis and do some chart reading and understand all these concepts I've talked about in today's video, the ideas of the strength of the bulls and the bears, the rule of 3, understanding the strength of support and resistance levels, understanding why Bitcoin shorts are such an important thing to look at, I do highly recommend checking out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, linked in the description down below. We've had hundreds of people go through the course, and they're all very satisfied. We've never had a single refund, even though we have a very fair refund policy. Check out what we have to offer. I think you will be very glad if you get in the course. Anyway, guys, that is basically going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.